All right, so I'm going to show you how to prep the bearings here. This is how they come out of the box. You'll see they don't spin very well. They just kind of stop immediately. And that's because they have this factory grease, which is good for industrial applications, but not anything lightweight. So that's how it starts out, and after the prep, it's going to be more like this. And it can go even longer than that. This one's not freshly cleaned, but just to give you a sense. And here's the intermediate stage. This is once we get the cap off, and you can see all that grease inside. There is also like a little metal thing behind it, and that keeps the balls in place. But what you're seeing there is the grease on top. All right, so we're gonna start with this, and the way that I know to do it ends up destroying this shield. Let's see. So this is the metal shield that was covering this before, and so it ends up getting destroyed. But you don't need it. There are plenty of bearings that come without shields, and they work just fine. If anyone knows a way to remove it, so that without destroying it, so that we can put it back on, that would be great. It helps protect against dust, and will make it so you don't have to clean the bearing as often. But they're kind of optional. All right, so really the trick is to find a place to wedge in with the inner rib. I'm using this tiny screwdriver, and I'll try to keep it in frame. It's kind of hard while I'm wearing the camera here because I can't see as much detail on the screen, so I might have to look around it at times, so apologies if I'm going outside the frame. But you just kind of wedge that in, and you have to use a bit of force. And you just kind of wiggle, and you're trying to get a kind of a bite on it. I'll come back here, maybe that will help you see as I'm doing this. Sometimes it takes quite a bit for me. Again, maybe others have a better technique. So far I haven't damaged the inner part of the bearing doing this, so maybe you'll have better luck than me in terms of getting this off. There we go. Got a little bite now. And then you just kind of, you don't want to hurt your fingers here, but you just kind of use some leverage usually, and then it pops right off. You can see all that lovely grease right there. We'll deal with that in a second, but let's get the other side off. All right, this one's coming more easily. I kind of got it in. Probably depends on where exactly you put it. All right, so we got both off. And all right, so now what I like to do, it's not strictly necessary, is to scrape off, kind of as easily scrape off whatever grease I can before dissolving in acetone. That's the next step will be acetone. So I'm just kind of gonna go around. And unfortunately, I have to look at the camera while doing this, and that makes it difficult. And maybe I'll edit this later, we'll see. All that grease. It just kind of conserves acetone, because you're going to have to do a couple rounds to really get it all off. It's pretty good after the first round, but some stickiness remains. So the more you can just kind of get the big globs at the beginning, less likely you'll have to do additional treatments. Yeah, maybe 2. All right, usually one side has more grease than the other. Actually, pretty much all the grease was the other side. Sorry, I was out of frame. All right, for the purposes of this, if I was looking at it directly in real life, I would get more of it, but given the challenges here with the camera, I'm just gonna call that good enough. So then, get a container for your acetone, just using this glass jar here. Acetone, just nail polish remover. You want to try to avoid getting it on your hands. It's used as nail polish remover, so you can get some on, but like, you don't want to get too much. It absorbs into your skin, and then you're, I think, making extra work for your kidneys. So just put it in there. Do a couple at a time. For this, I'm just going to do the one, though. Make sure the lid's well on so you don't splash. Swirl a bit. And then ideally you let it sit, make sure it's fully submerged. You know, let it sit for a few minutes. I'm just going to speed this up and be impatient, but you would let it sit a little bit longer. And just take a screwdriver to help me get it out. Put it on there. We'll see how much has already been removed. I'm going to blot it before picking it up just so I don't have too much contact in my skin. Yeah, and that's fine if a little bit. Alright, so where are we at? You can see, I mean, you see all that, the metal where the grease was. So that's the thing that prevents the balls from escaping. And there's still, I guess, quite a bit of debris, partially dissolved stuff on this side. See how it's been so far. Definitely better than at the beginning, though. So you can see just a little bit of treatment, and then doing a few rounds. Again, let it sit a few minutes, longer if you want. You're not going to hurt it by going longer, as long as you want to make sure the bearing is all metal. There are some bearings that come with different plastic components. Here's one that's a plastic piece. Sometimes it's that color, sometimes it's white. I mean, it can be anything. That you don't want to put in acetone. That's going to start to dissolve and get sticky. So there are other ways to clean those, but I found it far less effective. I was having difficulty with it, so I just stuck with all metal bearings, the ones that are on Maker Supply. The 606 ZZs were great. So yeah, just do that a few times, and you'll end up with a nice clean bearing that you can use. All right, just to show kind of the final results, I have 8 soaking here. I put a nice fresh batch of acetone in. Yeah, it was getting a little stale and murky. So this has been in here for probably about 5 minutes. It's really just the first time, but they look pretty clean in the jar, so I figured take them out and we'll look together. I'll just look at a couple of them. Alright, so that's the back part that never has too much grease on it. And actually, I guess I don't know which side, but yeah, they look pretty clean. It's pretty good. Some extra weight on it. I mean, it's not fully dry. I don't know if you could see when I spun it. Some acetone was flying off. So maybe wait before you spin it. Once it's dry, it will spin better. And then you can oil these afterwards. You need to use a really lightweight synthetic oil. If you happen to have like a trumpet oil on hand, that's actually pretty perfect. I'll put in the description the more information about what kind of oil to use, but you really use a very small amount, just a pin drop or a couple pin drops. So not like a full drop, but like actually place a pin in the oil and then dab it on. It will actually reduce the performance by about 10%, but it will make it last longer, protect against dust, and just overall make it last longer before you need to clean it again. So kind of up to you, but dry is actually the fastest as long as it's clean. So should probably still do another batch. This was still the first treatment, but just so you could see how clean it can get even with one treatment.